All right, kia ora. My name's Jared Kerr. I'm the Chief Economist of Kiwibank, and I'm joined by Hamish Wilkinson, one of our senior dealers and traders on the trading floor. And we're here to talk to you a bit about what's going on with interest rates. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand decided to hike the cash rate 50 basis points yesterday, taking it to 5.25. Now that surprised us. It surprised most economists and most traders in the market. We had thought that they'd only deliver a 25 basis point hike to 5%. But the central bank's clearly on the warpath and wanting to do more to make sure inflation is tamed. One of their main mandates is to get inflation back down towards 2%. And with the current inflation rate of over 7%, it looks like they've got some work to do. It was a surprise to us, so there was some action in financial markets. So, Hamish, tell us what happened on the day.
Yeah, as you're saying, JK, it was certainly a surprise to I think most of the market really. We saw upon the announcement itself, we saw the Kiwi dollar shoot up around about sort of 1% or so, trading up to sort of just below the 64 cent mark. Subsequent to that, really. I guess as markets sort of digested the news and sort of readjusted to sort of future expectations of obviously what's to come, the Kiwi has obviously slipped back lower again overnight to sort of sit just above 63 cents from a currency perspective.
So when you think about the currency at 63 cents, are people, feeling pain, or is there a resistance around these levels? What's the feeling on the street, I guess, with the currency where it is?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, certainly the customers that we speak to out there are sort of obviously now starting to sort of adjust expectations for, I guess, a declining environment domestically. So, importers are obviously have been a little bit more cautious in terms of the levels of hedging they're taking out. Exporters, I think there is a bit of an anticipation now of a lower currency coming through. And so, yeah, they're obviously being quite tactical in their approach over the next, coming quarters as such.
I think we have to agree with that mindset, right? I mean, the currency sitting at 63, in my mind, is quite high, actually, given everything that's going on globally, the expectations of lower growth globally, the expectations that we may fall into recession. Our call is that the currency actually starts to head south at some stage and probably ends the year at 55. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I guess certainly in terms of obviously the RBNZ action yesterday, driving interest rates higher and aggressively, the outcomes to that, as you obviously have pointed out, in terms of a recessionary environment, offshore investors will probably look upon the Kiwi with a bit more risk now. And I guess the looming sort of situation in terms of how, I guess, credit agencies, et cetera, will sort of perhaps view, I guess, the government sort of debt position as well. That starts to build sort of an environment for investors to look to take the Kiwi lower.
Yeah. So I think the Reserve Bank's actions yesterday are actually supportive of the Kiwi very near term. But then when you start factoring in a greater risk of recession, a greater risk of commodity prices globally coming off, the New Zealand dollar is going to come under pressure at some stage, and we think actually in the year at 55 cents. So that's, I guess, something that we're telling our customers that we're wary of, that the currency has outperformed for now, but at some stage there's going to be some downside.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting development over the last sort of 24 hours. As you said, we put out our FX tactical last week, sort of calling for the downside to come through. Yesterday's decision probably actually even enhances that ultimately in the coming months.
So that's it from us. Just a quick update on what's happening. Interest rates have clearly been lifted by the Reserve Bank. That increases the risk of recession and awkward outcomes. And from a currency perspective, we've got some strength near term, but we're of the view the currency will end the year lower. Thanks for joining us.